from the Raw Boxing TV studios. Your host, Ranger. Information may cause headaches to hates or bias casual fan. The host that gives you facts with very little feelings. From the city of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, the man who floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee, Louisville, Kentucky. It's showtime.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to Raw Boxing TV. I want to thank those of you that will spend some time with me today. I'm hoping everything goes good. We got a lot to talk about. Last night's card, excellent night of boxing. Excellent night of boxing, literally. A few hiccups here and there, but it's boxing. It's professional boxing. It's unfortunately what we've been getting from them for ages. For ages, literally. G Funky in the house. Thank you for being here, brother. Everybody go check him out. He co-hosted a show with me last night. So go check your boy out. G Funky. I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy his content. Jamil Matos in the building, my oldest son. Always supporting. We're going to wait a few minutes as YouTube starts sending these notifications out and allow people to start tuning in. Because, hey, guess what? A lot of people are complaining about last night, and it's fair, right? It's fair, especially about the main event. Mr. Popo in the building. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. So a lot of people are complaining about Estrada. And Chocolatito too. Robbery. Fue un robo, güey. Fue un robo. And it's fair. Why not? Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own way of judging things. Whenever I sense that the life is going to get heated, I don't pull out the coffee. I pull out the tea in the white Schrutes cup so I can calm down a bit. So as you come in, hit the thumbs up so that YouTube can start sending these notifications out. If you don't mind, grab the link to this live, drop it in your social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't matter. You never know who might be interested in this content. Andres Rodriguez, all the way from Portugal. Thank you, my friend, for being here, always supporting the channel. Ignorant Boxing in the building. What's up, my friend? No robbery. The fight was closed. Oh, yes, sir. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Plus, we're going to talk about other things. Look, guys. Here's what I got to say. Here's what I got to say. As boxing fans, we're always complaining, boxing is corrupted. Boxing is this. All these fighters ain't getting enough shine. Right? We always complain about that. But I got to be real with you. I got to be real with you. Partially is our fault. It's partially our fault. The reason boxing is in the shape that it is. The Office is funny as one of my favorite shows ever. One of my favorite shows ever. A show that would not survive in mainstream television today because of the sensitive generation that we have today, where everything offends anybody. But yeah, I agree with you, Ignorant Boxing. The show, one of my favorite shows, The Office. Forever. Forever. We're going to talk about last night's card. We're going to talk about whether it was a robbery. I'm going to talk about my scored card. I'm going to talk about the McCaskill versus Braekhus 2. What's next for the First Lady of Boxing, Cecilia Braekhus. We're going to talk about Raymond Ford, a prospect that is not too convincing in my book, a prospect that last night got rescued. Now that was a rescue. That was literally a rescue. That's a fight that you can scream robbery all the way, even though it was a quote-unquote draw. Last night, the judges pulled a typical trick in this situation, which is the typical draw, in order to say, yeah, look, we know you lost, but we're going to rescue you with a draw. How's that? We're going to talk about the reason these two fighters, these legendary fighters, Estrada and Chocolatito, the reason why McCaskill and Braekhus did not get any shine in the big boxing channels last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. That's the reason I'm drinking the tea tonight, to get my nerve system calm, relaxed, at ease, ready to roll. Jesus M in the building. No robbery, says Jesus. I agree, but we'll talk about it. Last night, you would expect that the mega boxing channels in YouTube would be shining the light on this mega fights, right? You would expect that because they make their living off of boxing, you would have think that because they call themselves boxing fans, you would have thought they would have had at least one single video. A minute and a half, a minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds dedicated to this fight. None. None. Raw boxing, I had it 119 to 113. Is that crazy? No, it's not. I had it 8 rounds to 4. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? That's what we got to talk about. That's what we got to talk about. It's important to know, ladies and gentlemen, how boxing sometimes is judged. Especially in fights like this, it's important to allow your emotions out. It's important to calm yourself as you're watching this fight as much as you can. It's important to look at both fighters. And when I say look at both fighters, I don't mean don't look at the torso so much. Focus on the arms of both fighters. Let the gloves be the guide of your eyes in this fight. In a fight like this one, in a fight like the one we got last night, let's see. I scored 4 rounds. If it's too close to call to put down 10-10. Well, that's your judging. And guess what? Nobody can dictate your style of judging but yourself, really, right? Because guess what? All of our judging is nothing but unofficial scorecards. In the same way you see unofficial scorecards in TV, that's what our judging is. That's what our scorecards are. They're not official. So I don't understand why people are fighting back and forward, calling each other name. El Perro in the building. El Dog, what's going on, my friend? I had 8 rounds to 4. Chocolatito. I had 8 rounds to 4. Estrada. You see? I had 8 rounds to 4. Estrada. I covered the fight with my brother-in-law, who's a boxer. I covered the fight with his father, who's a boxing head just like me. He's been around the game, involved with boxing for 3 decades or so, since he was younger. I co-hosted a fight, my show, with G Funky, who is also a boxing head. We were all in agreement, even though we had different scorecards, that to us, now this is just us, El Gallo Estrada was the correct winner of that fight tonight. Now, again, let me repeat this again. It is important to separate emotions from this fight. And here is why. Everybody loves Chocolatito. Even I love Chocolatito. The man is, I guess, an angel, for lack of a better term. It is. I mean, I was looking at Twitter last night. I was looking at people's emotions in my comment last night. And the man, after his post-fight interview, the way he broke down, it hurt me. And I get it. Trust me. When I say these things, I get it. I've been there. But with all of that being said, it's still important for me as the host of the show, calling the fight for you, judging the fight for you, or amongst or alongside of you. It's important for me and you to separate emotion. To separate who do you like. Now, you want to know who I liked in that fight? If you go back to my live stream before the fight, I was chopping it up with a few subscribers, and I told D-Style, Chocolatito's my boy. I like that kid. But I got to go with boxing tonight. And boxing is telling me that we have to, that I'm going to stick to El Gallo Estrada. Muy bien, el dog. Muy bien. I'm very, very, very well. Kendall Castellar. Estrada still up. Oh, Chocolatito and Estrada, top 10? Psh, easy. All day, every day. Without hesitation. Without any controversy. These fighters have to be put in your 10. If they're not in your top 10, I like to see your top 10. Maybe I'll laugh a little bit. Or who might we found in there. DJ Saddam, saludo, Ranger. What's going on, my brothers? Thank you for being here. Brown, gone one. Gallo. Okay. Do you know Thunderdome Boxing? No, I don't know Thunderdome Boxing. Que Dios lo bendiga a los dos. El dog. I picked Gallo winning, but I really didn't think he won that fight. Hey, and that's fair. Like I said, we're going to be little by little exchanging words here to allow people to tune in. Just to remind you as you come in to hit the thumbs up so YouTube can start sending the notifications out. But I got to be real with you guys. I'm not here to try to impose my point of view on you. I'm not here to tell you that my scorecard is the correct one and yours isn't. I'm not. I'm simply here to share what I thought of the fight. I'm simply here to talk about this whole unofficial scorecard war and back and forward and name calling in the YTBC. I'm here to talk about the queens of boxing. I'm here to talk about the prospects of boxing. And I'm here to talk to you about that disgusting bias, the unfair shadowing to legendary fights in the YTBC based on how light or how dark your skin is. Yes. We'll get into it. It's very controversial. But if you've been following me for all these years since 2008, you know I laugh at controversy in the face. I'm not afraid to talk about controversial subjects. I guess what some of you don't like is that I'm not afraid of scrutiny. You can close my channel after we're done with this video for all I care. But I got to talk to you about this situation going on in the YTBC. I got to talk to you about this shadow banning of these legendary fighters. The way that they talk about them, because we all know why. So let's start the fight. Let's start the video here, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, Raymond Ford. My first introduction to Raymond Ford was in his previous fight on the Canelo undercard when he fought. Don't remember the gentleman, but a guy out of Mexico or from Mexico that was here on a working visa. In that fight, he looked very good. In that fight, he stopped the guy that had never been stopped. In that fight, he was able to pick apart his opponent. In that fight, he was able to dictate the pace of the fight. He found composure. He found the distance. He found precision all night long. And he stopped his opponent. Last night, he came up against another opponent who was undefeated just like him. Raymond Ford, a young man that you can tell has the skills. A young man that you can tell still needs an entire barrage of work. A young man who last night I said to me, he reminds me of Adrian Bronner, not in a positive way, in a negative way, not in the personality way, in the way he fights kind of way. In the one punch at a time kind of way. In the I'm going to back up constantly in a straight line kind of way. In the when you attack me, I'm going to move straight back without offering any kind of angles kind of way. And also, while we're at it, I'm not even going to throw a 1 or 2 or 3, 4 punch combinations kind of way. Yes, that was Raymond Ford, a guy that got rescued last night by the judge. Now, he literally got rescued by the judges last night. 2 undefeated fighters. 1 is not being pushed. Mr. Aaron Perez is not being pushed. The promoters have not found any interest in him, but nevertheless, the kid is undefeated. And he was brought to last night as a sheep to the slaughterhouse so that he can meet the butcher, Mr. Raymond Ford. They were trying to give Raymond Ford an undefeated record. They were trying to get Raymond Ford to eliminate an O. And what Mr. Aaron Pettis came in to do last night is the very thing that a lot of fighters, a lot of journeymen are supposed to do against the type of prospect they get put up against in most of these situations. Is you come into the fight and your job is to make it ugly. Regardless of how flashy he might seem, regardless of how fast, how powerful he might seem, make it ugly. Don't be afraid. Get in there. Apply the pressure. Get hit while delivering a couple of hits. But make it ugly. Yes. Aaron Pettis came in to put the pressure. All night long, he was tagging Mr. Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford was landing, like I said, 1, 2 punches, 1 punch at a time. Very precise at times, and at times very reckless. Very, very reckless. With all the respect to Raymond Ford, last night you got rescued. The reason you have a draw in your record now, it's not because you actually had a draw. It's because the judges and the promoters did the very thing we've been seeing in boxing for the last 20 years. And I do mean the last 20 years because previous to the early 2000s, this was not always a common thing in boxing. Robberies? Yeah, they've always been in boxing. Draws, controversial decisions? Yeah. As often as we've seen them in the past 20 years? Nah. There's a new wave of judging. There's a new way of judging, and it involves this a lot. And no, I am not saying the judges are being paid. It's a lot bigger than that. Congratulations to Mr. Aaron Pettis. In my book, you won that fight, but unfortunately, you came at the short end of the judges' likings. You're not the guy that the networks want to see. You don't have the pleasing style. You don't have the looks. You don't have the size. You don't have nothing that the networks want to see. Therefore, the networks, the promoters, and the judges last night, as the 3 Musketeers came together to bring the magic trick of a controversial draw. Moving on to the next fight of the night. I'm going to try to pronounce his name. Hishoyuki something. The Japanese fighter that fought Mr. Vega. The first 2 rounds, The first 2 rounds of that fight, as G Funky stated, had the potentials of being fight of the night. Yeah, fight of the night, in my opinion. That's what it was looking like. The amount of punches these 2 guys were putting out in the first 2 rounds was insane. The way that the Japanese in the first round was picking Mr. Vegas apart from the mid-range, from the long range, working the left hook to the body, working the jab constantly. The amounts of uppercut exchange from one fighter to another, that, ladies and gentlemen, was insane. Yeah, they took a few rounds there to go and catch a breather. Mr. Vega, from time to time, was able to find his way inside as the shorter fighter and make work of the Japanese inside. Him being the shorter fighter with the shorter arms, he savagely went to the body, did what he was supposed to do. I seriously thought that it was going to be a hell of a fight until Mr. Vega comes with an overhand right that lands in the skull of the Japanese fighter, completely breaks his hands. Was he faking? Absolutely not. This is one of the consequences of using the puncher's gloves. Yeah, you can knock somebody out. Yeah, you can break a jaw, but you can also break your hands. It doesn't matter how well they're wrapped. This is one of the consequences that's been married to using puncher's gloves ever since they've been in existence. So last night, Mr. Vegas landed that overhand right to the skull, to the cap of the head, and unfortunately broke his hand. You know how we know he wasn't faking? Because the minute that kid took his glove, the minute they took his gloves off, you could see the swelling on top of his hand. Immediately, go back and watch it. Immediately, you could tell that, no, he's not faking. Immediately, you could tell that, no, he didn't just act it like it because he saw the Japanese fighter being so relentless. You could tell the minute they took the gloves off, yeah, that in fact his hand was gone. It was over. The pain was too intense. The swelling was too rapid. Too rapid. It was a shame because a fight like this would have been excellent. Whoever the matchmaker for that fight was, I would love to have him in front of me and shake his hands. That's matchmaking right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you call matchmaking. That's what you call seeing 2 styles, putting them together in your head, imagining the fight, and saying, "Yeah, I like this 2 together. Let me talk to the promoters to bring forth an offer to both of these fighters and see they're willing to get it down with." That's what you call matchmaking last night, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you. The GOAT in the building. Let me drop the gain on my mic because I got the kids here. They wilding out a little bit. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I don't know about you guys, but I got to be real with you. I wouldn't mind seeing a second fight between these 2 gentlemen. Now, will it happen? I don't think so, because as you can tell, the Japanese is on his way up. Mr. Vegas was brought as the lamb to the slaughterhouse. But I wouldn't mind seeing a second fight between these 2 fighters. If you would have put that Japanese fighter, Yoguchi, or whatever his name was, versus Mr. Vegas in there again, I can guarantee you, just based on the few rounds that they fought, I can guarantee you people will sit down to see how things will play out this time around. I've never seen 2 fighters get in the middle of the ring or in the corner of the ring, but stay face to face and exchange uppercuts after uppercuts after uppercuts after uppercuts, back to back to back to back. Never seen it. I never seen it. I'm not talking about hooks to the body now. I mean literal uppercuts to the chin. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see these two guys get in there all over again. Because boxing can always use exciting fights like this one. Boxing can always use fighters with the will that this two had. Boxing has room for these fights. Always have, always will. Let me see something a little bit in the comments here before I move on. I have not been neglecting you guys. Just I gotta. Aaron, in soccer, only the judges are vendidos. Oh goodness, it's Japanese little. The Japanese a little overrated. He might be a little overrated, but you know what? I gotta be real with you. Last night he was giving us a good fight. He was. He might be a little overrated. Kiyoguchi. Okay, thank you, Andres. Kiyoguchi. Man, arigato. My Japanese is not that great, to be honest with you. So I appreciate you rescuing me with the pronunciation of this name, to be honest with you. Mr. Popo, I thought Mexican always win in Texas, yet Aaron Pettis was robbed. Hey, man, that goes to show that a lot of the comments that surround the YTBC are just based on anything other than reality. So, but yeah, I agree. Aaron Pettis got robbed last night. Lance Maya's in the building. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, that caught my attention a bit. Mr. Vegas was 4 foot 10 inches tall. That is a very small fighter. But he was fighting like a big fighter last night. Andres Rodriguez, Mr. Popo, yeah, that was a proper robbery. Pettis deserved the win. All day. Puerto Rican Rome in the building. What's up, my friend? Let's see. Brown Gun 1. Aztec Warrior. Spirit. Japanese Samurai Spirit. A very good blend to offer us a fight last night. A very, very good blend. The GOAT. Salute, Rod. Hey, what salute, man? Thank you for being here once again. Hiroto, little overrated. Okay. I already read that one. DJ Saddam to L Dog. You're absolutely right about LT. Erislandi in the building. What's up, my brother? Que hola, que vuelta. Que vuelta. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, look. Raymond Ford got rescued last night by the judges. Aaron Pettis should have won that fight last night. No ifs, buts, or ands about it. At all. The Japanese Warrior and Mr. Vegas, Hiyoguchi and Vegas, I wouldn't mind seeing them again if they get in there again. I think a fight between those two has potential to make it. Hell, why not? Fight of the year. I'll go ahead and say it. Y'all saw those first 2 rounds? Then the fourth or the third? Fight of the year. If they can go 10 rounds like that. Somebody going to go to sleep on that fight. Somebody going to go straight to the hospital and get about 10, 15 stitches in their face. Somebody going to have ice in their face all night after that fight. So, yeah, I want to see a fight between those two if they're able to get in there once. Again, it was unfortunate, but again, once you put those puncher's gloves on, that's one of the risks you're risking. It's breaking your hands. Williams versus Mama's Boy. Let's be real. William looks good. William looks like he's schooled. William looks like he's got the goods. But I would like to see Williams put his hands together, not just on the inside to the body. I would have loved to see William put some work on the dude from the mid-range and out. Double up on your jab. Follow with a right hand. Give me a combination upstairs. Don't always wait for your opponent. When your opponent comes in and you make him miss, don't always go to the body. Don't always put combinations together when you're locked in with your opponent. Eventually, you're going to have the opponent that's able to read that And he's going to keep you a distance. Now, what are you going to do? When your entire career you've become accustomed to just put combinations together to the body. When your opponent is bent close to you, why not start working from now? You ain't even got 10 professional fights. You're still a prospect. Why not from now start working on putting your hands together, letting your hands go in a 2, 3, maybe 4 punch combination from the mid range, maybe from the long range. I guarantee you it'll help you. Was I pleased with William? Of course. Like I said, he's still not even 10 professional fights. But when you can tell a fighter has the skills and you see the fighter not implementing the skills, it does burns you up a bit. And he burned me up a bit. I wanted to see him hit that kill switch. He had the finger there. He just wasn't willing to. He wasn't willing. Mama's boy hung in there. Right? DJ Saddam, a lower weight, Japanese versus Mexican is the stuff of the future. Rivalries. Man, Japan's been putting out some killers. And Mexico's always put out some killers. But at that lower weight division, Japan's been killing it. Killing it. So it's just a matter of waiting the next 10 years and see what happens. But I agree with you. I ain't mad at that. The GOAT. I didn't see Ford Perez but a fight, but I usually notice judges for black fighters when they do good, definitely, but when a Latino fighter does good, deservingly. I didn't say it, although I agree. We're going to get into that too later on in the video, because that right there is damaging boxing. What this man just said there is a reality. What the GOAT just wrote there, it's a reality in the sport of boxing right now. It's a reality in the YTBC. We're going to get into it once I'm done talking about everything else. So, yeah, I thought William could have easily put pedal to the metal, squeeze the trigger, pull the switch, kill the man. He chose not to. He was too hesitant. He would only put combinations together when he was close, locked in, when his opponent had his hands down without any way of counterpunching him. One way or another, you're going to have to start working towards educating yourself and doing all of these things. Jessica McCaskill versus the First Lady of Boxing, Cecilia Braekhus. What's next for Jessica McCaskill? What's next for the First Lady of Boxing, Cecilia Braekhus? Look, in the first fight, it was apparent that the new blood had arrived, that there was a new wife for Mufasa. There was a new lioness taking over the pride. And that was Jessica McCaskill, or Jessica McCaskill. She came in, she took everything. She became the owner of the division. But as a true warrior, as a true veteran, as a true champion, as a true queen, that Mrs. Braekhus is, hey man, she said, I want it again. They tried it last night. But once again, the new lioness, the new blood, Mufasa's new wife, is the queen of the division. She owns the division. She applied the pressure. No shame in the game for Mrs. Braekhus. She's only lost twice in her career to one person. There's no shame in that. I personally do think that this is the time for her to reflect and put her pride aside and say, I'm already 39 years of age. There's new blood in the prairie. Am I gonna want to be a punching bag, a journeyman after being the first lady of boxing for all these years? Or do I want to continue to push and be a champ? If her answer is I want to continue and push and be a champ, then she has to have an argument with her age. She has to have an argument, a debate, a conversation with her age. She has to not only have a conversation with her age, she has to have a conversation with her performance, with her reflex, with her movements, with her speed. All of which seem to take a step down after age starts imposing itself. Tony Boswell in the building. Thank you for being here. Good evening, sir. I buy houses. Thank you for being here. JC in the building. Appreciate the time. Mrs. Braekhus, it's time for you to hang the gloves. Mrs. Braekhus, it's time for you to say, you know what? I've had an excellent career. I was known as the first lady of boxing. But my time has come. Last night she was eating too many overhand rights. Back to back. She got rocked a few times. Last night there was nothing. There was no combinations being thrown really effectively from McCaskill. It was the relentless power punches easily landing on Miss Braekhus last night, which seems to indicate that her reflexes are no longer there. 39 years of age, almost 40. What's next for her? Again, with all respect, I hate to say this. I hate to tell a fighter when to hang the gloves. That's what they live for. That's what they do. That's what they probably could. I guarantee them girls are probably doing laundry and throwing combinations. Cooking, throwing a jab. Head movement. That's boxers. That's boxers' mentality. They showering. They want to see if they can uppercut the drops coming out of the shower head. That's boxers. So I know it's tough to give it up. I know it. But in my opinion, it's time for Miss Braekhus to give it up. In my opinion, a person with her career, with her record, with her recognition, cannot become a journeywoman, cannot become a punching bag to the new bloods. This is the time to either quit it or become a joke. Will you sell your legacy for your pride? I hope not. I absolutely hope not. The legs weren't there last night. It just wasn't. It really wasn't. What's next for Miss Jessica McCaskill, the new lioness in town? She said, hey, if Katie Taylor's next, let's go with Katie Taylor. If Clarissa Shields wants to drop to 147, I got you, sister. Let's do it. I like the way she put it. I don't care about Clarissa Shields being the two-time Olympic gold medalist, yada, yada, yada. I can beat man, all that nonsense that spews out of her mouth. No. You want me? I'm the queen. I own this joint. You drop to my weight division. And you come get it. You want something in this weight division, you got to come and see me because I got it all. JC, my cat's killer. Hey, that's a good name, dude. That's a good name, my cat's killer. IBT in Moral Boxing Truth. What's up, my friend? Thank you for being here. L-Dub Boxing. Cecilia should do if you're a fight in Norway, then call it a day. Yeah. Yeah, do a few more fights in Norway with decent opponent. She can still probably win a few fights, go on top. I get what you're saying. Hang the gloves with victories, and call it a day. But as far as top level opposition, that's it. You either gonna be the first lady of boxing, the one that's only lost to one person twice, or you're gonna become the punching bag of the new bloods. No. That's not what you want in your career. G Funky in the building. Everybody go and subscribe to G Funky. He co-hosted the show last night with me. Go check him out. G Funky in the building. You're gonna like his content. McCaskill is my girl. I know she is. You picked her to win twice. I know she is. Tony Boswell. What weight division is Serena fighting at? Serrano fighting at? No, Serrano I think is 135, ain't she? 130, right? I believe so. 26, 130, something like that. She's down there. No. This girl, besides Tony, you could tell this girl is too thick, too big for the Serrano. Now, Serrano is the queen. Don't get me wrong. That's the queen of the knockouts in the female boxing industry. Serrano is the queen. I don't want to hear that. In her weight division. IBT Moral Boxing. That's her nickname, Jessica. It's awesome. Yep. The GOAT. Shields is naturally more athletic than all the females in boxing. She's not really that skilled, to be honest. Very good way to put it. Anytime, man. Anytime. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this fight, but yeah, I think it's time for Miss Braekhus to hang the gloves. Moving on to the to the main event of the evening. Moving on to the fight that has a lot of people calling each other names on Twitter. A lot of people posting nasty comments on each other's video on YouTube. A lot of people hating each other on Twitter. A lot of people calling each other's countries all kinds of names. For what? For what, homie? What's the reason? I thought we was just here to give our own opinion. I thought we were free to think for ourselves, to see the fight in the way we want to see it. I thought our scorecards were nothing but unofficial fan scorecard. That's what I thought, at least. I don't know about y'all. Why are we calling each other names? Why are we calling each other blind mother effers? Why are we calling each other Mexican whatever or Nicaraguan whatever? Because last night we saw an excellent fight? Is that the reason we're calling each other name? Because last night we saw a fight that potentially has the open door for a trilogy? Is that the kind of boxing fan you are? It's like going to a cupcake shop or bakery and telling the lady, look, my favorite cupcakes in the world are those cupcakes right there that are infused and filled with that filling full of coconut shavings and vanilla Boston cream pie in there, right? I want 2 of those right there. I want 2 of those. Let me get 2 of those, right? D-Style in the building. What's up, my brother? I want 2 of those right there. Major Key Boxing in the building. What's up, Major Key? No wonder I've been thinking, I'm like, where the hell's Major Key? You changed your damn avatar. No wonder I wasn't able to recognize. I was like, I thought you had unsubscribed or something. It's like going to that shop, right? When I seen fans killing each other over this fight last night, when I seen fans calling each other names and calling each other's countries by all kinds of names over a fight like this, and at the same time they're calling each other boxing fans. It's like that fat kid that goes to the bakery shop and tells the lady, I want 2 of them cupcakes right there that are full of that Boston cream pie, Boston cream with coconut shaving in it. Those are my favorite ones. Let me get 2 of them. And she gives them to you. You pay for them and you stuff it, right? But as you stuffing those cupcakes all over your mouth and you got the cream all over your face because you're just tearing your favorite cupcakes up, you're like, I hate you. You're telling the girl that made those cakes, I hate you. I can't stand you. I don't like the way you put this cupcake together, even though it tastes delicious. It makes no damn sense. Let's get into this fight, shall we? Let me get caught up with the comments real quick. Tony Boswell. The fight reminded me of let me see. The fight reminded me of the 80s. It was one hell of a technique fight. They were fighting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they were. For a fact. Legendary fight. From 2 legendary fighters. And the show's going to get heated, guys, because I'm going to go into a lot of controversy later on, but we must talk about this. I cannot, look, I don't care when people say, don't talk about it, Ranger. You know what I tell them? I'm going to talk about it, my homie. When I see stuff, I got to talk about it. If we don't talk about it, if we got no pushback against those narratives, if we don't have at least a microscopical negative force against them, then they in full blast. Not on my watch, homie. Just not on my watch. Yes, sir. A fan of mine made me a new one. No reason to unsubscribe to you, brother. Oh, appreciate you, man. No, I just didn't recognize you, your avatar, man. And I typically don't look at people's names. I'm always looking at the avatar. And I hadn't seen your picture, and I'm like, man, did the brother unsubscribe? But whatever, you know. It is what it is, though. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Joe Lopez. Some fans are emotionally attached to certain fighters. Facts, nothing but facts. And that's why I was telling last night, leave your emotions in the closet. In the closet. Anything other than 7-5 for either fighters, you're overlooking their work. Great fight. Great way of putting it together. It was a crazy fight. It was a crazy fight. D-Style. Oh, that's right. Let me go ahead and do this here. As you all know, if you were watching the show last night, the passing of the legendary fighter, Marvin Hagler. The passing of a legendary fighter, Marvin Hagler. A lot of controversy behind his death. Not going to talk about it just yet. It's not as simple as you're being told. Once I get all the facts together, then we'll talk about it. If you want to investigate a little more, don't do it through Google, because Google has blocked and taken down everything. Do it through DuckDuckGo, where you do have freedom to speak whatever you want and not get censored. Google everything through DuckDuckGo. Go to Tommy Hearns, Instagram or Twitter, and read the post that he posted on there. The reason Mr. Marvin Hagler was in the hospital. I see people lining up in their cars to get this reason, but I will leave it at that, because we don't have all the facts. But nevertheless, D-Style is generous enough to give away a special poster that includes the 4 kings. And he wants to give it to you for free. All you got to do is hit that link, go register, and post on the comment, I want in, and that'll give you the entry to win. And I want to show you that poster right here, right now. It's made by that artist right there. Let me get the comment now, D. Killian Art is the artist that made this poster, limited edition. If you're a boxing head and you don't like this poster, then something wrong with you. Because that poster right there, if I had that poster, I'd throw it in a frame and have it as a background somewhere behind me. It's free. You ain't got to do or pay nothing. All you got to do is go to his channel, to his community. Once you see that post in his community, hit the thumbs up, go to the comment in that post, and just put, I want in. And the brother will choose who the winner is and send them that limited edition poster. It's that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, going back to the fight, boxing has a way of treating us bad and treating us good at the same time. Boxing has a way of causing positive and negative emotions on us, in us. Boxing has a way of driving our thoughts for a certain period of time in different types of fights. Boxing can do that, but ultimately it can only do it if you allow it. Nobody has power over your thoughts but you. Or nobody has power over the actions that you commit but you. Negative thoughts can come to your head. Right now, I can be a Nicaraguan and a negative thought can come to my head about in regards to Mexicans, but ultimately it's up to me to process that thought through my speaker and allow that thought to take its effect. I'm going to reverse it now. I could be a Mexican and have a negative thought against a Nicaraguan. The thought is here. The bird is flying. But only you can give permission to that bird to build a nest and lay the egg. Only you. Why am I saying this, Ranger? Ranger, what the hell are you talking about? I thought this was a boxing channel. It is. But boxing is not just an exchange of blows. It's an exchange of emotions. It's an exchange of points of view. Boxing is an exchange of boxing is life, for lack of a better term. Ladies and gentlemen, can we just enjoy legendary fights and legendary fighters for a minute? Ladies and gentlemen, can we just enjoy the fact that 8 years in the making and we didn't see two fighters afraid to engage each other? Can we just enjoy the fact that last night, as a boxing fan, you cannot be disappointed when it comes to the action in the sport? Can we stop the nonsensical? Because los mexicanos son esto. Because los nicaragüenses son esto. Shut up. Ugh. Give me your tongues. I can rip it out. Shut up. Enjoy boxing. If Chocolatito won or lost, that's not going to affect your purse, your marriage, your relationship with your kids. Your boss ain't going to be calling you, talking about Ranger, you fired. Well, why? Well, they should have given that fight to Chocolatito. Instead, they gave it to Estrada. Let's be real about this, man. It's disgusting. Last night, this fight, I had it scored 8 rounds to 4 in favor of El Gallo Estrada. That was my scorecard. The reason I scored it that way was because although El Chocolatito was very accurate with his punches last night, even though El Chocolatito was slipping and catching punches last night, El Chocolatito was only very good for the first minute of the rounds that I had him losing. The rounds I had him losing, he started off good. First minute, very dominant, picking his shots, slipping, catching, bobbing, weaving. But then Gallo Estrada would take over. Gallo Estrada was also getting hit, but he was also catching shots. The judges had their work cut out for them last night. This is the type of fight where you're not going to be like, yo, I can judge that fight 100% accurate. You a damn liar. If that's what you're thinking, you a liar. Ain't nobody going to judge that type of fight 100% accurate. I don't know about you, but I don't even care who won or lost last night. All I care is that I watched that damn fight. And all I'm hoping for is a third one just like that one or better. Do you care who won last night? Drop it in the comment section. With the type of fight we got last night, do you really care? Are you really losing sleep fighting with some homie over who won or lost last night? That's the new generation of boxing fans. I'm not that old, dude. I'm only 35. I've been around boxing since I was a kiddo. I've been in there. I've been in the corners. Been in the gym. Been the cut guy. I love the sport. I look at the sport different. I'm not better than you. I'm not a better fan than you. I don't know boxing more than you. I know what I know. And I look at what I look at. But I ain't gonna be tripping over who won last night. Am I happy the guy I picked won? Yes, I'm happy. Am I sad that Chocolatito lost? Yes, I'm sad. Did you guys see this man in his post-fight interview? I'm a Christian myself. When I see a brother of mine like that in the faith losing, it hurts me. But again, emotions aside, sports. Two different things. Emotions, reality of sport. I have to bring you my content with this one. Reality of sport. I have to put my emotions in my pocket. In my pocket. Black and brown boxing in the building. Everybody go check the brother out, man. Excellent show. He's got a show every single Friday. Free Smoke Friday. Free Smoke Friday. Everybody go check out Major Key, D-Style Boxing. Go check out all his channels, man. All his channels. I'm going to be dropping the link in about 20 minutes and allow you guys to come in, give me your opinions on this fight. But before I drop the link, I really got to talk about appreciate you, Glenn. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the Cash App. Thank you for the Cash App, man. Before I drop the link, I feel that it's necessary that not only do I finish talking about this fight, but that I talk about a disease growing in the YTBC that we continuously talking about it. I know a lot of you guys have said don't talk about it, but I'm going to continue to tell you I will continue to talk about it because negative effects must have at least a microscopical negative pushback from positive effects. Last night, these two fighters came in and they gave their heart and soul in that inside that ring. Last night, the very argument I'm using to justify the reason I had the scorecard in the way that I had it is the very argument I've heard from other people. It's the exact same one. That's what tells you that this fight was throw the coin up there and however it lands, run with it. That's fine. But we fighting, calling each other names, talking about each other's nations. That's what we're talking about. Over a fight that as a boxing fan, you got to be like, yo, that was a, yo, that was a fight. Congratulations to Chocolatito. Congratulations to Estrada. I got to congratulate both of them. Who cares who lost, who won? Once again, we got to fight that we wanted to see. And they didn't disappoint. What's next for Estrada? What up, chat? Welcome to the show, brother. What's next for Estrada? Listen, whatever's next for Estrada. But if you ask me as a boxing fan, I'm going to tell you immediately, give me the trilogy. And in the trilogy, I'm also not going to care who won or lost. Give me the trilogy. Remind you guys that as you come in, hit the thumbs up, man. If you don't mind, grab the link to this video, drop it in your social media platform, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. You never know who might be interested in this type of content. Let's get into the somewhat topic I want to talk about before dropping the link. And look, I have to talk about this because it's disgusting, ladies and gentlemen. It's disgusting. You Go through the pages of the biggest YouTube channels in boxing, of the biggest YouTube channels when it comes to boxing. And last night, the two biggest channels in boxing, or two of the biggest channels in boxing, they didn't give a damn about these fights. Not a single coverage. Not a second. Well, Ranger, they probably did a prediction video. They didn't. Well, Ranger, they probably talked about it. They haven't. Does that bother me? Not really. What bothers me? The reason why. Because everybody's free to like or dislike. I choose not to talk about this fighter. Fine. For what reason? Boxing should be colorblind. But these channels, if you ain't black, and it hurts me to say this, they're not going to talk about you in a positive manner most of the time. It's the trend that they've been having. It's the community that they have closed themselves in. It's the narrative that they all call each other to follow. It's sickening and disgusting, because when I see some of the people that cry out because they're victims of racism, being racist themselves and saying that they're not racist, that concerns me a bit. When I see that some of you guys are subscribed to this maggots, when I see some of you guys are giving this maggots cash apps that allows them to continue with the nastiness they do, and you're free to do with your money whatever you want, but I got to speak. I'm raw boxing TV. I'm keeping it raw. I'm keeping it straight up. I don't need the white TBC to make a living. When I see that, that kind of worries me a bit. Last night, this nasty maggots, you heard me. Y'all got my email. Y'all talk about we don't want none of y'all smoke, but when we go after you, y'all block us. Blocked us in Twitter. Blocked us in Instagram. When we call, you don't pick up. You don't answer our emails. We want your smoke. You ain't willing to start the fire because you ain't going to have the fire extinguisher to put it out. Because when we use the very arguments you use to defend your position against you, you will not have any type of defense that makes sense. Legendary fight. Zero exposure from these channels. What are they talking about? Devin Haney sent an offer of $7 million to Lomachenko, and he ain't trying to get none of that. Devin Haney. What are they talking about? Charlo reacts to Benavidez' victory last night. Devin Haney, Charlo. What do they have in common? You answer that. The day before, nothing. The day before that, nothing. Last night, nothing. Today, nothing. And then you go back to videos, and when they coming out saying that because some Latinos ain't fighting some of these black fighters, Latinos are racist, but then you're supposed to call yourself a boxing channel, an unbiased boxing channel, a channel that hates racism, but you implement racism? Mother. I'm trying. I got the tea. You see, I got the tea. The white fruit from the office. That's the tea is designed to keep me calm, but it's failing right now. It's not doing its job. I wish there was some way that we can get in touch. I wish there was some way that you can come to this little channel of mine. You ain't got to show your face. I know you ain't got the guts to do that. You can stay behind your avatar. And I wish we could chop it up so I could put you against the wall with a sword through your throat. Any of you. Little Aki, and your slave master, Dante, whatever his name is, Boxing Nation. Ego, you Chinese replica of whatever that singer's name is. You nasty racist son of a gun. All of y'all can get it. But I cannot give it to you if y'all got me blocked. So when y'all in your channel talking about, well, raw boxing ain't want to smoke. How raw boxing gonna go get the smoke if you got the doors closed? Come talk boxing where the doors are open right here. And I prove it every time I go live. I drop the link so that anybody can come in. That's the proof. I ain't got no mediator. I got none. Zero mediator. I don't block people. I don't kick them out. I don't time them out unless they get racist. Estrada, zero exposure. Chocolatito, zero exposure. McCaskill, zero exposure. Braekhus, zero exposure. What's so important? Devin Haney sending $7 million to Lomachenko. Now Lomachenko is racist because he's not going to want to fight Devin Haney. That's the argument. What's so important? Charlo reacting to the victory of Benavidez. Any of you is welcome in. Here comes the link. Any of you is welcome in. Just to keep things in perspective, just to keep things smoothly running. If more than one of you comes in, as you come in, I'm gonna give each other the turn to speak. And while you're not speaking, do me the favor of muting your mic so that the reverb from your phone or your device does not come in and affect the live stream. So if you're not talking, just make sure that you just mute your mic. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, even if I don't never change what's going on. Alexis, welcome to the building. Thank you for being here. I have to push back. I have to push back. I agree with you, Philly. But it's a lot bigger than that. I've been at this for too long, man. And I'm seeing the effects. I am seeing the effects, and I'm not liking it. And that what makes me angry is that they laughing at it because they're making money off of it. And while they're making money and laughing at it, they're also complaining about racism. In boxing. Boxing is so racist. If a Latino doesn't fight a black fighter, it's because Latinos are racist. There is no such thing as Latinos. The hell is a Latino? Well, Latinos don't know our struggle. You filthy maggot. You filthy maggot. There's the link right there. There's the link. Instead of focusing on this dumb stuff, give shine to the boxers that deserve it. Yes, talk about Benavidez. He won last night. Good. Congratulations. He deserves it. He's a good fighter. But not a single video on McCaskill versus Braekhus. Not a single video in Chocolatito versus Estrada 2, a fight we've been waiting for 8 years, but you call yourself a boxing fan? Not a single video, but you a boxing fan? You a boxing channel? Very interesting what's going on in the YTBC. Tycho TV, welcome to the building, brother. Thank you for being here. None of you should be afraid. There's the link once again. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, or even if you just want to share your point of view, there it is before I close this live. You know, I always like to talk, get my piece in, and then I always like to implement the freedom of speech. There's the link. I want to hear from you. Come on in. Look, Chocolatito last night, like I said, he said he would come on, but he eating. It's so good, brother. It's so good. It's so good. Chocolatito last night has nothing to be ashamed of. Braekhus has nothing to be ashamed of. Vega has nothing to be ashamed of. They did what they did. They gave us great fights. There's nothing to be ashamed of. When it comes to, let's see, eating to be on in a minute. Oh, all right. No problem, guys. No problem, guys. When it comes to boxing, man, let's talk about Benavidez, shall we? Let's give him some light. I did not see his fight last night. I was focused on giving the girls a little love last night. McCaskill and Braekhus. I figured Benavidez would get enough love, so I was going to cover the main, the zone card, and that's what I did, along with G Funky. Go check him out. But last night, man, Benavidez has one thing that is very interesting. Benavidez has the desire, right? The willingness. I guess the discipline now. He lost his title in the scales, and now he comes in underweight, sort of like trying to make a statement, a disciplinary statement. The question with Benavidez is, as good as he is, as powerful as he is, as headhunter as he is, as somebody that is very effective at the mid-range and long range, but not inside at all, as somebody with very limited upper body movement. The thing about Benavidez is, as somebody that is a very slow starter at times, as somebody that I think the weight cut affected him. What's going to happen when he has in front of him a guy who moves his upper body movement extremely well, who slips punches, who stabs the body extremely, extremely well, as somebody that knows how to cut the ring, as somebody that knows how to feint, because you may look good when you let your hands go, but unfortunately, you let your hands go and it looks good against some type of opponent that don't offer the same exact upper body movement that Ginger Boy offers. What is going to happen? Is David Benavidez the guy that gives Canelo trouble? Yes. I'm not saying he ain't gonna. I'm not even saying he doesn't have a chance against Canelo. I'm simply wanting you to see the way that he fights against who he fights, and then use your matchmaking ability and play that fight in your mind. That's all I'm saying. Before you go and talking about I'm a Canelo fanboy, me, Ranger, me, Canelo fanboy, the guy with 100,000 videos against Canelo, me, Canelo fanboy, must be tripping. I'm just a fanboy of boxing, and I don't care how much fame or how much you love a certain fighter. If he ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, I'm gonna tell you in raw fashion, and then you can consider me a hater. I owe myself to the truth and to boxing. So that's why I kind of find it. It's kind of funny when people say, "Well, Ranger, you're a Canelo fanboy." That's not what y'all used to say. Y'all used to say that I was racist. Y'all used to say that I couldn't stand Mexican fighters. Salute Raw Boxing. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Erasmo from Panama, mi amigo, bienvenido. It's a pleasure of having you here. I really enjoy the time you stopped by the channel. Hawker Mustang and Regal fan, 1,000%. 1,000%. Regal fan. 1,000%. Actually, no. Make it 10,000%. Guillermo Rigondo fan. I'm a fan of greatness. I'm a fan of greatness. Puerto Rico Rome, dudes were excited about Deontay bed picture. I'm not even lying or joking. That's what I'm saying, Puerto Rico Rome. They get excited about Deontay Wilder's picture in bed or a picture of his bed. That's the content they put out, but not Chocolatito versus Estrada. Right? That's not important. What's important is Deontay's bed. Are you kidding me? JC, Benavidez smokes plant. Canelo smokes both. I agree. When the fight takes place, I'm going to break it down very precisely. Very precisely. Last chance here, guys. Here's the link. Nobody comes in. I'm going to be ending this live in about 10 minutes. So there's the live. There's the live. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the sport of boxing, I encourage you to follow channels that only channels that stay away from race baiting narratives. I encourage you to follow channels that are willing to be honest with you. I encourage you to follow channels that are not too into a specific fighters because of the color of their skin. Boxing is colorblind. The only colors I see is a red corner and blue corner, baby. I don't give a damn if a Chinese is the greatest boxer in the world as we speak. I give him his props. Calix Boxes 2.0, Chocolatito. What a fight last night. Yes, it was. Everybody go check Calix Boxing, man. One of the OGs in the YTBC who, like me, took a long break, but now is back. Go check his channel out. Subscribe, activate the notification bell. You're not going to regret it, man. You're not going to regret it. I encourage you to follow channels that are not pushing false narratives with a foundation of race. I encourage you to follow channels that don't call each other, yo, this is the subject we want to talk about today, okay? Okay, but look, you can't just talk about it. This is the exact way we have to talk about it. So I'm going to say this, and you have to say it in the exact same way, but throw a little bit of a spin in it so it may look like it's your original content. When they say that Latino fighters don't fight black fighters, it's because they're racist, that's disgusting. And you should not be in that channel. And you should give that channel a thumbs down. And you should immediately unsubscribe to those channels. Because if we keep giving cash apps to those channels, if we keep giving them our time, if we keep giving them a thumbs up, that incentivizes them to continue to do the very same disgustingness and infection that they're putting out. The very same infection that they're putting out. You have to stay on code, whatever that means. Yeah, I mean, the GOAT. Bro, this is off topic. This channel reflects how society is right now. Truth is no longer important. Feeling over facts. Delusional. You couldn't have put it better. You couldn't have put it better. I've talked about that plenty of times. When you look at these channels are a reflection of humanity in this era. When you look at these channels, this is the kind of channels when they can look at you and say that I'm holding a flower. No, you're holding a cup. No, I say it's a flower. No, it's a cup. No, it's a flower. And if you say it's a cup again, I'm going to get offended. And I'm going to cancel you, okay? I'm going to contact my cancel culture buddies, and I'm going to cancel you, okay? That's what we're dealing with. But it's never too late for you to rescue your mind from that trash. It's never too late for you to unsubscribe. Get the hell out. Remember one thing, guys. The ears is a vacuum that sends information to the brain. Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. All these false narrative channels is sad. Yeah, it's true. I got blocked on my channel, on a channel. BC, I said Haney didn't look good against Gamboa. That's all it takes. All it takes is for you to say a spark of negativity against a fighter with the skin complexion that they like, and you are completely blocked. But then they talk about we're not free. We can't speak how we want to speak. But when we go and speak how we want to speak, they block our freedom. And look, I got a few agents in the dark watching right now. What's up, Florida? Hope the weather's nice down in Florida. I don't block the doors. Look how generous. Look, there's the key. There's the door. Come in and show me why your channel is a better boxing channel than any of our channels. And I will destroy your narrative. I bet you they ain't coming in. The dark double agents, the ones that are there, like, let me see what he's going to say so that I can go on and do my video. I can kind of see and say some of the things he's saying, but I'm going to spin it in my own way so that it can kind of look like it's my original content. Let me see what he said. I want you to click that link and come on in here. If you're truly that guy that's willing to get the smoke out. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. What's up, Drew? How you doing, my friend?
What's up, Ranger?
We're here, brother. We're here. Talk to me about last night, man. What you thought about those fights last night?
That was a great fight. Chocolatito, that Estrada, that was a really great fight. I enjoyed it. Even though I watched it at work, I really enjoyed the fight.
Damn, you was working last night? Damn.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed that fight from round 1 to round 12. And I had Chocolatito winning 7-5, though.
Okay.
And
I had Estrada 8 rounds to 4, but like I said.
Yeah. So And then McCaskill versus Braekhus, I really had it 96-95 McCaskill because it didn't take the point away from Braekhus. I would have had it to draw because it was more like the first fight. He won the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then Braekhus came back and everything. But at the end of the day, I would have thought Braekhus would have retired, but she ain't retiring. I think she's going for the big money fights now, which is the good idea because she's on her way out.
Yeah, the only problem I see with that, man, is I don't want somebody with that kind of legacy to become a punching bag.
Nah.
Because even though that she looked pretty decent last night, she still didn't look like the Braekhus we're used to seeing.
That's the thing I did not like. I don't understand why she tried to not fight her fight. And that's the thing. Her fight is building off the jab.
Yeah.
And she didn't.
Correct. McCaskill looks very strong. She's the younger one, even though she's not really young. She's in her 30s, but she's the younger one.
Yeah.
I think that right now, yeah, we don't. I know she spoke about she wants McCaskill again. No,
I don't want to see.
I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that legacy becoming a punching bag or a journeywoman. I don't want to see it. I think McCaskill did her thing, even though that again he wasn't a complete shout out. But the thing about McCaskill last night was that she was so successful on landing or I should say, at least 80% of her power shots. And I was surprised to see that CompuBox did not give her the high rate because every time she let go of that overhand right, it was landing. Every time that she would put a left hook to the body, it was landing. She had McCaskill, she had Braekhus wobbled in a few rounds, but I just saw that the reflex wasn't there for Braekhus anymore. And
nah, I this is how I see it. She kept on landing the overhand right all night, but the scores were ridiculous. I don't know how someone even had that as a shutout. And all 3 scores were like wide margins. I had that fight. That fight was close as hell.
Yeah, I didn't have it a shutout. I did have McCaskill ahead though, but I didn't have it a shutout. I don't know what I did with the paper that I judged last night, but
the fight before that, the Amber Williams
versus Mama's Boy.
Yeah, that Amber has potential.
He does.
But the problem with Amber is he should have been able to stop him. But the problem is when he had him wobbling towards the rope, instead of picking his shot and giving himself room to throw those shots, he went in trying to throw a flail, thinking that the referee's going to stop him because he's throwing all these punches and everything. You can't do that. You got to look. You got to give yourself some space, and you got to pick your shots off. And
that's true.
Because it's not always the fastest punches that are going to hurt you. It's going to be the most calculating ones that you're really measuring them to land.
That's true. And the thing about it is you could tell he's got a good schooling in him. He's just hesitant. He hesitates too much too. I think that he should have last night let his hands go a bit more from the out, implement more combinations from mid-range and maybe the long range. I think he would have gotten Mama's Boy out of there a lot quicker, but for some reason he was hesitant to do that. It was as if he was willing to throw 1, maybe 2 punches at a time from the out. And then when he was closed in, he would flurry combinations to the body, and that was it. And with the kind of schooling that I saw in him, he should have been. That fight should have not gone as late as it did. But hey, it did. What you thought on the Japanese versus Vega, man? I say Japanese because I can't pronounce that name. I can't pronounce it. Yigo Gushi versus
Igor Corey.
Igor Corey. Yeah, versus.
You know what? Vega actually fought a good fight. I actually had Vega ahead by a round. And at that time of the stoppage, I actually had Vega ahead.
Okay.
Because I think he was being he was landing punches, but he was being more aggressive, but he was also landing punches and everything. And while Igor Corey was also trying to he was throwing punches, but he was just trying to be more of a boxer in that fight.
Okay. Yeah.
But I had Vega winning the fight before the stoppage by a round. It was a close fight, but I had Vega winning because he was more aggressive and he was actually landing, not only being aggressive, but he was actually landing punches.
Yeah, he was being very successful on the inside, I felt. Every time he was able to come in close, he was able to go to the body very successful. And that was pretty good. Would you mind seeing the second fight between these two? Let's be real.
Absolutely. Like I can't see why not, because it was actually a good fight.
Yeah.
While it was lasted and everything. I think he should at least get a rematch, but like with fights like this, and like they tend not to really give them the rematch because they see the flaw in how they were able, when they were fighting him. They see that he wasn't as successful as he should have been, and they see that, hey, this kid might give us more of a problem next time and everything. I don't think I want to explore my options. And
I have to agree with you. Go ahead.
He can't blame him. He's exploring his options because he is a champion. But at the end of the day, the dude deserves a shot.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Do you think, as some of the people were stating on Twitter, that Vega was faking the injury? I personally don't think so.
No.
I mean, the swelling in his upper hand was immediate. The minute they took them gloves off, you could see that little ball forming in front of on top of his hands, and they put that ice on there immediately. And besides, there was no reason for him to just fake and quit on that fight.
He was winning the fight. I don't understand.
He was being very successful. Exactly.
I don't understand how you could quit, and plus it's a championship fight.
Correct. He was being very, very successful. Now, Aaron Pettis versus Raymond Ford. I'm interested to hear what you got to say on that one.
I didn't even watch that one.
Okay. If you can, for the sake of your show tomorrow, because you guys have a show, everybody go check the Shoe Shine Boxing out. Drew Evo has that show with Dave from the 408 every Monday at what time?
10 p.m. Pacific, Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
7 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you go check that out. But I advise you to watch that fight and control yourself. You're going to be disappointed. So you can talk about it tomorrow in your show because, horrible decision. The typical magic hands of the judges when they're trying to serve or save the up-and-coming prospect. These were two undefeated fighters. But in my opinion, Aaron Pettis put the work in. He beat Raymond Ford last night.
Oh, I was hearing about that during the broadcast, how that it was a bad decision. And that's what you got in Texas.
Yeah, a horrible decision, in matter of fact. It's a horrible decision. But I'm glad at least they didn't rob the guy with giving him a loss. They're both still undefeated.
Yeah. But
the draw should have never been the decision. I think Aaron should have been the victor last night, and that was disgusting in my opinion. But it's what boxing has been doing to us for ages, to be honest with you. And I don't know. Raymond Ford, when I looked at him last night, because at first I said, how in the hell did Castro, the kid that fought on the Canelo undercard, Castro looks very mechanical, very stiff, very slow, very sluggish. How in the hell did Castro beat convincingly Raymond Ford twice in the amateurs? Last night I saw why. The kid can't handle the pressure. The kid is Adrian Bronner. Backs up in a single straight line, does not throw combinations. Pressure did it last night. No special skills, no nothing. Just a guy willing to come forward, throwing punches. That's what Aaron Pettis did last night.
Yeah.
And he was successful at it.
Well, as a fighter that relies on his hand speed, you need room to be able to throw those punches at rapid speed. Mm-hmm. And if a pressure fighter comes to you and is able to apply that pressure, you're going to have a problem throwing your punches.
Yeah.
And what beats speed mostly is timing and pressure too, apparently, if you pressure the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like these what you were talking about with these channels.
Yeah, disgusting, bro. And I know you and Dave have not been exposed to it, but the more time you spend at the YTBC, man, I can guarantee you're gonna run into it, and you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it because it's so apparent, But as one of the subscribers clearly stated, they reflect the state of humanity in this day and age. You still there, Evo?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had to take a phone call.
No problem. No problem.
Nah,
What was you gonna say?
nah, like these channels like Deontay's Boxing, Boxing Ego. I was on this channel called Drew Titan.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the channel I got blocked off
of course.
because I said Haney didn't look good against Gamboa. And like, here's the problem: you're on YouTube and you have your own channel. Everybody has a title to their opinion about what goes on. It's your right to have your opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't like somebody's opinion, there's going to be people you don't like opinions that you're not going to like their opinion at times. And that's what makes a boxing channel more good, is to have two different opinions and then have a debate about it or talk about it. Now, these guys, if you say that, like, because I'm a white guy and everything, and I say Haney didn't look against Gamboa and he's a black fighter and everything, they're going to call me a racist for it.
Yep, of course they will.
But here's the thing about that, guys. If you go to that route, they call somebody a racist. It just proves you don't know jack about boxing. That's your comeback. That's your comeback.
Or about even the simple meaning of the word racism. They know nothing. These people are just cassette recorders. They record what they hear and then they play it even louder, with a bigger speaker. That's all they do.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
It's ridiculous that someone could come on, like, people can really think they know something about boxing, and then all they bring up is Deontay Wilder, saying how he's getting screwed, how he got screwed by Tyson Fury, when they already proven that Tyson Fury didn't do anything. That his trainer was in Tyson Fury's locker room watching him get his hands wrapped and his gloves put on. He even expected them. They got a video to prove it and photos.
Yeah.
So what more is it going to tell you that Deontay Wilder got exposed? He can't box to save his life. He only has a right hand. And like,
you can bring all the good arguments in the world, and it's not going to change their mind, because one, you got to think they have to keep a straight face while they're telling you these lies, because they have a certain fan base that they have to please. And without those fan base, there's no cash apps, there's no likes, there's no subscriptions, there's no paychecks. So when a channel is so willingly selling you lies in order to collect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I want to do, to be honest with you. Let's see. Tyco TV, 1,000 channel schedule all day long, spitting the same narrative and being racist. Yeah, you're correct. And you just said it right there. Look, schedule. They schedule the videos back to back to back to back with the same narrative, with the same comments, stated in a different way, just to kind of make it look like it's their own original content. That's it.
Yeah, like I was watching a couple months ago Boxing Ego's live chat, and when they were talking about the Fury Wilder fight and everything, and like seeing he was being biased and everything, I'm like this, yo, why are you just being biased towards one fighter and everything? You can't tell from the other fighter's point of view also and everything. That's what real boxing is, talking from 2 points of views and everything. Like, how the hell am I supposed to watch you when you don't even bring up everything about, you don't even bring up everything about boxing. You just want to bring up that how somebody's getting screwed and everything, and you seriously don't got no proof that he was getting screwed.
Apparently, a picture of Deontay Wilder's bed is more interesting to the boxing world than Chocolatito Estrada 2. Let that sink in for a minute.
Of if somebody's bed is more important than a fight and everything, somebody's, especially when it comes to guys, I think they really have a question about themselves. if you know what I mean and everything.
I absolutely know what you mean.
And these females need to question the men too.
I absolutely know what you mean, man. Hey, Hucker Mustang, man, I already tried to unblock you, my man. So let me tell you a quick story about this subscriber or whatever. I've had this man subscribe since 2013 or 14. I already unsubscribed him. I removed him from the damn thing. Somehow he still thinks he's subscribed. There's the link, man. Come on in. Let's chop it out. Let's talk a little bit. Let's meet face to face. Let me see what you're all about, Hucker Mustang. Let me see what you're all about. But I already unblocked you, man. I already removed your channel from that box where you put everybody that's blocked. Anybody I take out of there, supposedly it's somehow unblocked. So
he's commenting on your live video, so he's probably
well, this is a secondary channel. He's got another one. It's Hucker Mustang something. That's his main, the one that I had blocked. And I unblocked him, but somehow he still thinks he's blocked. But anyway, Drew, what's next for Estrada in your opinion? What's next for Chocolatito in your opinion?
Third fight. I gotta see a third fight.
Correct. I'm that one.
That fight could have gone. That fight. A lot of people debate on who won. That fight could have went either way and everything. There's gotta be a third fight because it's 1-1.
1-1 in your opinion? Yeah. Well, yeah. In reality.
Yeah, but the only problem is I don't want it to go and we wait like 2 years for another fight. We need one in like 6 months.
Look at this comment right here. LDBC have not made a video or a stream covering any of the fights this weekend, simply because these great fights contain no black fighters. Wow, crazy. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact. Mark Nash in the building. Everybody go check his channel out if you're a fan of hip-hop, man. Go check him out. He's got a very interesting channel. They go into discussions about hip-hop. I think he also plays some of his original music, and I've heard it. It's lit. It's lit. But going back to this situation, man, I wish we could look at boxing as only two colors: red corner, blue corner. Because at the end of the day, regardless of the color of the skin of the fighter that's out there, that's not gonna influence his skill level. We've seen terrible black fighters, great black fighters, terrible Mexican fighters, great Mexican fighters, terrible white fighters, great white fight. We've seen it all in boxing. But when we have a boxing channel and when we dedicate it specifically to push narratives, we dedicate it specifically to say, well, you're a racist because you're not fighting me. I can't stand that.
It's like this. You can like somebody and that can be your favorite fighter, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't lie for the dude. At the end of the day,
Max,
if he got his ass kicked, he got his ass kicked,
and that's just it.
And hey, you're not gonna like that he got his ass kicked, but he got his ass kicked. Well, a lot of fighters, it's rare that a fighter goes through his career undefeated and stays undefeated.
Very rare.
So, if they really knew about boxing, they would have known that Deontay Wilder was gonna lose eventually. Like, let me just say something.
He got a gift in the first fight to begin with.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
It would have been a draw in the first fight.
Deontay Wilder would have lost 3 years before that fight if Alexander Povetkin didn't test positive for steroid in Russia, because Alexander Povetkin would have knocked out Deontay Wilder in Russia.
Correct.
And I even picked Alexander Povetkin to knock Deontay Wilder out because his chin was suspect at the time, I felt. And this is a big step in competition. But at the end of the day, the people will say he ain't losing no white boy. who cares about skin color and everything at the end of the day?
Who cares whether the guy he lost to is white or black? He lost.
This is 1960 anymore. This is 2021.
It's sad, man. It's sad.
It's really sad. It's really sad because how this country was divided, and because, but at the end of the day, some people feed into it, and it's a shame that they feed into it.
Yeah.
Because it's just stupid. It's really stupid how people can feed into just BS like this all the time, and just realize that, hey, we get robbed like this. Hey, there are fights that people get robbed in, but you can't say because of his skin color and everything.
Correct.
Like, don't get me wrong. I thought Bernard Hopkins got robbed against Kazagi. In my opinion, he's my all-time favorite fighter. I thought he got robbed against Kazagi, but it's not because it's just color of his skin. It's just because, hey, the judges didn't see it that way, and they just did not see it for some reason that way.
Yeah,
can't blame people because there's always decisions that everybody's going to question, and everything. And then and then in Texas, Paulie Malignaggi got robbed by Ron Diaz, and he clearly beat Ron Diaz, and I think there's Ron Diaz.
Baby Bull Diaz, right? That was his name.
Yep, Ron the Baby Bull Diaz, and Malignaggi clearly dominated that fight, and should have got a clear decision over that. But
True.
It's not because it's just because no one can get a good decision in Texas because they go for a certain type of style, like
style, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. But look, even with that, last night Aaron Pettis was the aggressor, and Aaron Pettis got robbed, in my opinion. Who knows? Texas works very weird when it comes to judging boxing. Extremely weird.
That's why I don't like. That's the worst place to fight at.
Yeah, man. I don't know what their standards are. But they do work a bit different than the usual. No matter who is the judge, they will get. Yeah. But let them know once again. Let them know once again where they can find you and Dave. And I'm about to close this live here.
Well, you can find me as because I'm co-host of the Shoe Shine podcast. It's on Shoe Shine Boxing on YouTube. You can look it up on Periscope also. You could also find me on my own channel, Philly Irish Drew Evo. It's up and coming. It's not just a boxing channel. It's like more sports and gaming channel and other things, variety channel.
Okay.
So if you guys like gaming, you can hit me up at twitch.tv/DrewEvo85 too. So
there you go. All right, man. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by tonight, man, and chopping it up with me.
And you too, man. Have a good night.
All right, brother. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about that time that we start wrapping it up. I want to thank every single one of you that stood here with me tonight. Definitely. If you have not subscribed, go check out some of my content. If you enjoy it, then why not subscribe? I don't charge for subscriptions. Activate the notification bell and select all while you're at it. And if you don't mind, grab the link to this live stream, drop it in your social media. Andres Rodriguez, one of my faithful subscribers. Thank you for being here, man, tonight. Toby Bartlett, salute Raw. Yeah, man, you're coming in late, but nevertheless, thank you for at least clicking in. If you haven't, just hit the thumbs up and share this. Like I said, be careful what kind of channels you're giving your attention to. Identify the issue and get the hell out. Let's make boxing better. If you guys can follow me on Twitter at RawBoxingTV, and you guys have, let's say, a question about a fight, if there's any fights that you want me to cover, you can follow me on Twitter at RawBoxingTV. I answer to every single one of my tweets. If you have an Instagram, I have a new page on Instagram. It's fresh. At RawBoxingTV on Instagram. If you want to donate to the channel and support on Cash App, it's $ Raw Boxing TV. At the end of the day, man, all we need is people supporting good, positive content that's only going to help the channel. We can't keep supporting these nasty narratives. Ortiz versus Hooker. We'll go into that, but on another day. Hold me to that one. High Plo in the building. You're coming in as I'm leaving. But thank you for stopping by. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for the time you spent here with me. And hopefully, I'll get to see you on the next one. I'm not going to be out of town this week a lot. So I will be able to bring a little more content this week. So hopefully we'll see you soon. Be on the lookout for the next live stream. And when I drop the damn link, stop being shy. State your opinion. Raw Boxing TV. Till next time, we're out.